Well, welcome, good evening, Honorable Dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8, and this is a picture off of Google image search of the Slayer's light novel, which there's actually lots and lots and lots of the light novel, but this is the light novel that the anime is based on. This is an early 90s anime that's had multiple seasons, multiple movies, and even more light novels. I'm not even sure if light novels are continuing. But I'll say this. I want to buy the Slayers light novels as well as the Overlord light novels. But and maybe one day I would actually try to read the Slayers light novels. Now there's no need to do the Overlord light novels because there's people I think actually have read those and done a good job. But yeah. Though more like if I ever do buy a light novel, I don't really like ordering stuff online. So if I ever do get light novels, I'll probably just like if I get, you know, like say when Overlord season 4 comes out, I imagine it'll be really big. So I might go to a mall and maybe buy an actual staff of Iron Zulgo and light novels if it's available like that. But I would say this: I want more Slayers anime anyway, and I imagine if Slayers came back and they made a new season, that it would be a big hit, and that they'd be able to resell all the old series, which there's multiple of. There's three main seasons that were released in the 90s, and I think early 2000s there was a Slayers Revolution and Slayers Evolution R, which and an Excellence and multiple OVAs and multiple movies, and I think they've made even more light novels. But I would kind of like because there are some fan fictions that were pretty awesome. For example, there's Shinji and Warhammer 40k. You know, that would probably be pretty cool animated. And then, of course, there was a person I remember who wrote a fan fiction for Slayers. Now, granted, it was based off those first three seasons from the 90s. One was just a short novel, but it was still a full novel length. It would take you quite a while to read. It was very, very long, very well put together. That one was called Virtual, and that was a redo of the very first season, but told as a sort of futuristic cyberpunk. And then there was one called either Demiurge or Dimerge. I'm not sure if I remember how to pronounce it, or how it was written even. But that was sort of a continuation of what happened after the third season with a small time skip. And it went a very interesting way with the story, but different. And then, of course, there's the one that I like the most of all, which it's obviously put the most work into. I'm not saying Virtual or Dimerge weren't bad. They were both awesome. But I really liked Reflection, Chaos, and Rebirth the most. This was a trilogy of novels that each would have been their own season on their own. So each one of those, like Virtual and Dimerge, could probably be told in 12 episodes, maybe 15 or 16. But I feel Virtual and Dimerge could both have been told in 12 episodes. But Reflection, Chaos, and Rebirth, there's so much to it. I feel each one would have required their own 26 episode anime season. And yeah, I think in general those would be the best. And the best way to put it is this: the original three seasons of the anime was the first season was the thing with the Rezo the Red Priest and Shabarang being brought back. The second one being Gob, the demon dragon general dude, the demon general dude, and then Phil Brizo, the Hellmaster of the Mazako race, and then of course it ends with Lena, merging with the Lord of Nightmares and going Super Saiyan and using Giga Slave powers more. Then we had the third season, which involved other dimensions and stuff, more stuff with the light sword, lightsabers, Star Wars kind of stuff. Dragon Ball Z Kamehamehas. Zelos did more fighting. dragons were killing each other because they're all racist toward each other for some reason. Then the Mazaku and the dragons had issues, and then Zelos was fighting Volgov, who's like half of multiple different types of dragons with Mazaku, and they're trying to destroy the world by bringing like a galactic, like trying to bring like Galactus from Marvel Comics into the world, called like Dark Star or something. And yeah. Anyway, it's better than it can sound. Virtual, like I said, is a retelling of that first season with Rezo the Red Priest, but it's a futuristic cyberpunk story. And then the Dimerge or Demiurge, I don't remember how to pronounce that, how it was written by the person I believe is Tu Florian. So the word two and then Florian, but again, I'm not even sure if that text is anywhere out there. It might have been deleted out of the internet. Who knows? But that one's sort of a, what happens if like Lena and Guri just settled down after the third season, had a family, opened a shop, and just sort of stopped adventuring. Then there's Reflection, Chaos, and Rebirth, which rather than having the time skip stuff and the settling down into a family that happened in Dimerge, Demiurge, whatever, Reflection takes place immediately after the end of season 3, where Lena is traveling and they wind up getting involved in some stuff and they wind up breaking this really expensive mirror, so they get sent on a quest to try to find the ancient magics and original material to fix this super powerful magical mirror, and they encounter lots of things along the way. By the end of it, Lena actually had to deal with an alternate version of herself. Because keep in mind, in season 2, here's some spoilers, the Hellmaster of the monster race wanted Lena to cast the power of the spell Giga Slave, which is a power that allows her to basically generate a super powerful Kamehameha from the power of the being known as the Lord of Nightmares, which is a god-type being that created the human race, as well as the dragons and the monsters. And like I said, you could pronounce it monster, demon, Mazako, whatever. But, no matter what you call it, like I said, that is at the top of that. And of course, then the second season, because at the end of the first season, Lena had to cast the Giga Slave to beat the newly resurrected Shabaranido. Here's more spoilers. Rezo was a super nice person, but he was blind. He felt really sad about that. So he resurrected like the devil in order to get his eyesight back. But then the devil ate him and then came back to life into a super monster called himself. And then he was going to destroy the world. And so then Lena used that spell. It worked. She beat him. And so by the end of the second season, everything was trying to pressure her into using it. But during the course of the second season, Lena learned how dangerous the spell is, and that if used incorrectly, it could destroy the whole planet. However, by the end of the second season, she is pushed to the brink to where she is forced to use it, and, well, she is attacked during the course of it because Hellmaster is wanting to destroy the whole world. He wants everything destroyed. He's just trying to kill everyone. Yeah. I'd rather just eat a pizza, but everyone's got different goals, I guess. Anyway, he thinks it's going to work, destroy the planet, but then, Lord of Nightmare sort of merges with the personality of Lena temporarily, or takes over temporarily, however you put it. And Lena Inverse goes Super Saiyan, and, well, shenanigans kind of ensue. Anyway, Reflection would technically be a season 4 in that scenario. And what happens is, due to the mirror, what happened, part of one of the things that broke it is that it was such a powerful mirror, what broke it was an alternate version of Lena from another universe. The multiverse. A lot of movies are all about the multiverse now. So maybe this would be the perfect time for that to get made. I'm pretty sure the author, Tu Florian, would certainly be happy to be paid for the company and the individuals who actually wrote Slayers to have the rights to actually publish that person's fan fiction, because I think it would make an awesome anime to have that fan fiction made into an anime. But you have a sort of inverted Lena, or rather, it's a Lena inverse that what happened is when she cast the Giga Slave against Shabaranido, it killed Shabaranido just the same. But it went out of control. It killed a lot of people on the planet. It didn't quite destroy the planet, but it caused a lot of problems. On top of that, it killed all her friends. Also, she lost all her magical powers, and her red hair has become white. From that point on, the human race was kind of at the mercy of the monster race. And Lena was held captive and treated very, very badly, and exposed to a lot of poisonous drugs. Anyway, the whole story of Reflection is them doing the journey, them trying to figure things out, them finding out stuff about backstories of certain characters, like Zelos, for instance. And them finding out how to fix things, and they also save the other Lena. They also start dealing with some issues like, interpersonal issues, racism between different races, and all sorts of political stuff, but really it's not as. It's mainly just. It's stuff that gets actually a bit of. It gets worked out. So, yay, happy endings for everyone. But, yeah, at the very end, everything I think works out fine. Everyone does fine. But then Lena's scared. Because at one point during the thing, she learns an ability called Giga Restoration. And she winds up finding out there's a prophecy. And from what she understands, is there's multiple Giga spells. Giga Slave is the ultimate destructive power. Giga Restoration is the ultimate healing spell. And it said there's 4 spells, but only 3 of them are known to individuals who are able to do the Giga Slave ability. Anyone who casts even the first Giga Slave ability is already started on that path. A prophecy. And the idea is this, that if you cast all 3, and in order to cast the third one, you have to have cast the first 2, which honestly learning Giga Restoration was very difficult, because you had to go through a major issue, and the idea is that the way you're supposed to teach yourself how to use that skill is basically you stab yourself, and then you heal yourself from the injury. However, Lena had made a mistake. She forgot to remove the dagger out of her before starting the spell, so she had to stop the spell midway, remove the dagger, and then go back into it, which made it a lot more painful than it had to be, but honestly actually made it work better for her to learn, and in the end probably saved her and everyone else's lives. But by the end of that Reflection story, she's very concerned. She's cast both spells. If she so much as says the third spell, it's going to happen. And she's like, I don't want to do it. And so she's a little stressed about it. Now, the next one, I think, Chaos, is about, they decide to try to unwind about stuff. So they go out, they go to a buffet, they've gone on some ventures, they've got some money. So they have a nice meal. Lena has a few too many to drink. And while she's a little drunk, Guri's trying to, reassure that everything will be fine. Heck, after everything we fought, what would cause us a problem now? So he's trying to build up her confidence, hey, we've fought all these other people. We've won all these fights. Whatever happens in the future, we got this. But Yuri's also painted as not a very bright individual, because at one point in the conversation she mentions how she's worried about accidentally saying the spell. And then Guri's like, well, how about this? You tell me what the spell is and how it goes, so that way if you ever go to actually say it, I'll be able to stop you. So then, her being drunk, she says the spell. And Guri's like, okay, so now I know what to tell you not to do. And then she's like, despite being drunk, it hits her. She's like, oh shit. It's like, do you realize what you just made me do? And then before they know it, the third spell, the Gigas Gate, is cast. And now they're in a meeting with God. Because that's what that spell does. It allows you to basically go and actually talk with the Lord of Nightmares, which is meant to be a being of not only infinite power, but of infinite chaos, of choice, of decision, of creation, of destruction. It's not a being of infinite good, nor is it evil. It's just an infinite being of chaos in the most benevolent way you could think of, but not exactly hunky-dory safety. Anyway, such a meeting helps to sober you up a lot faster than any pot of coffee. And, well, they have their little meeting, and she is given a quest from the Lord of Nightmares to find the 8 original humans that were made and to bring them together. And then, so, Lena goes on this quest to find 8 human beings with special magical powers that, even in a world of magic, had they have magical abilities that, well, are beyond the realm of what should be physically possible, even in a world where people are going around throwing around like kamehamehas, like they're Oreos. Anyway, it's a very interesting story. You find out more backstory. You find out more history of the world in that show, at least according to the fan fiction. Not really canon, but I like the direction the author went. And by the very end of it, she brings them together, most of them, but there's one that's a major issue, and then Lord Nightmare says, okay, you've done a good job. So, but that one is an issue, so kill that one. And so, final climatic fight there. And then I think, and then Rebirth actually talks about, the being of order and some fights there, and there's some more stuff that happens in regard to the dragons, the Mazako, Zelos, and Zelos' family, as well as Amelia, as well as Naga, as well as like all the other characters and lots of backstories. And also you get the Gigas Dream spell, which allows you to sort of basically teleport back and forth between dreams and mirrors and reflections, and even make sort of pseudo like a bag of holding in Dungeons and Dragons, but as an actual pseudo world existing in the dream realm, where people's memories sort of have some powers. It's a lot more complicated than making it sound, and a lot cooler than to make it sound. And it ends with a very interesting sort of almost Dragon Ball Z-esque, it's like almost like Dragon Ball meets Death Note sort of scenario. Oh, that's another detective show I was talking about, because I just made 2 videos. One I called Mitt DM Hare's Nebula, and it's happy, it's jolly, it's good, where I was talking about different genres and stuff and remixes of music. And why did I bring that up? Shit. I was talking about something ago that reminded me of something. Shit. Damn it, that's going to bother me. What was I going to say? Damn it, I can't remember. Something about... Damn it, I can't remember. Shit. Alright, I was comparing... like saying how a lot of things had different genres, and then even things in the same genre were different. Like take detective shows. There was 3 detective shows I listed off. It says a Detective Conan, Ghost in the Shell, and a supernatural detective, Majin Te Nagami Nuro, which I can't pronounce it correctly. But I guess technically, you could also include... I just mentioned detective show a moment. Death Note. Death Note's technically a detective manga, right? So, but it's still a different show. Could you count Code Geass as a detective show? I'm not sure. Anyway, main point I'm trying to say is this. I'd be interested in actually owning and reading the Slayers light novels. And I really want any kind of new Slayers movie. like any kind of new Slayers movie or anime, and for the old Slayers movies and animes to be popular again, for like everyone to be watching this show, because honestly, Slayers the anime is absolutely incredible, and I can't recommend it strongly enough. And but yeah, I just any suggestions or recommendations for everyone out there as far as what good light novels there would be to read. Granted, no guarantee I would ever have them or own them, but I'm just sort of curious. But if I ever do get the opportunity, yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Though I might also just come across random light novels as is. But I imagine like Overlord, but I probably wouldn't read that just because those people have done a better job. But I'd probably buy it and just read it myself. But I'm just saying I really like the Slayers light novels. And I'm just kind of curious whatever light novels you guys think are cool. Though I could always go to the local library and borrow like Shakespeare or something and try to read that. I could read Shakespeare, though I'm not sure if I can remember how to pronounce half of the old English shit. Anyway, yeah, I just want to talk about light novels. Bye, guys.